After years of campaigning, the Social Housing Regulation Bill has finally been passed into law. It's now the Social Housing Regulation Act. This change is long overdue, and it's a result of tireless campaigning from Grenfell United, our Bishak's family, housing activists like Kwejo Twanaboa, and thousands of our supporters.
The safety and well-being of tenants is a priority, and that's why we've been campaigning for the Social Housing Regulation Act.
I just ran for my life, and I looked back at the tower, and already by then, which was about 1:30 in the morning, the tower was like pretty much ablaze, all up on the side that I was looking at. It was, yeah, a very traumatic experience. Anyone who saw that fire will know how violent it was, and you know, it's left a scar and on a community that will take generations to disappear, if it will ever disappear. Standing underneath the carcass of the tower in the days after the fire, I think many people actually thought that Grenfell would be a catalyst for change.
With your permission, Mr. Speaker, I would like to make a statement on the latest progress following the tragic fire at Grenfell Tower 12 weeks ago.
We've had to fight tooth and nail for every little concession that we've got from this government, who, if anyone's followed the public inquiry, would know were one of the main perpetrators of the Grenfell Tower fire through their policy of deregulation and not preventing this dangerous product being placed on buildings.
This battle is far from over, as we've seen over the last few months.
You have to look after their tenants and uphold health and safety standards.
When the Queen's speech was announced, we got the heads up that the bill was not included, and it was really a kick in the teeth, I have to say. It was probably one of the lowest points in the journey of the Social Housing Regulation Bill.
There's still so much that can be done on the ground for tenants in terms of holding the worst landlords to account in situations like Grenfell and our Bishak, where innocent individuals sadly had lost their lives as a direct result of being ignored.
This morning we've got two further panels with our inquiry into the regulation of social housing. This follows on many concerns that we've seen in the media about the state of some social housing properties, you know, concerns that have been raised about it and how the whole sector therefore is regulated.
The Social Housing Regulation Bill was included in the Queen's speech in May 2022 and introduced to the House of Lords in June. We finally had a bill, and from this point on it was about making sure the bill was strong enough to actually make a difference to people's lives, because even with this milestone, too many tenants are still facing poor treatment from their landlords.
This seeks to create a power for the Secretary of State to require managers of social housing to have appropriate qualifications and expertise. Grenfell United believes that a more professional housing sector is one of the main ways by which to create a fitting legacy for the 72 lives that were so needlessly lost on the 14th of June 2017.
Thousands of people were en masse lobbying the Lords, and they are listening, and it's been impactful as well. You're getting responses back, you know, they're agreeing to what you're saying, they're understanding what's going on, and I think it makes a big difference when there's a lot of you doing it all together.
At Grenfell United, we spent a lot of time sitting with officials from the social housing policy team, arguing why they needed to go further, be bolder with the demands that we had made, and the ideas around complaint process, regulation, freedom of information, senior management regime, tenant voice. These officials were in a unique position to learn from people who had first-hand experienced ill treatment, marginalisation from a landlord, and would know very well what needed to happen to make sure that never happened again.
In the course of the hearings, it has become apparent that many mistakes were made, and many witnesses have acknowledged that they, or the organisations they represented, failed in one way or another to meet the standards to be expected of them.
The new social housing regulation bill will mean that tenants have more of a power to be listened to, especially in cases that I've seen up and down the country of living in horrific, absolutely horrific and unacceptable conditions. It will also mean that these landlords will be investigated by the regulator and held to account in situations when they're found to be neglecting their tenants, or their tenants are being ignored and not listened to.
I do believe that the professionalisation of the social housing sector can bring some meaningful change for people that live in social housing. But the fact that we had to fight so hard, and the fact that we had to fight for so long to get really what should have been in the bill from the very beginning, it fills me with pain and upset, because, you know, 72 people lost their lives.
Anniversaries of remembering those lost, countless cases of tenants living in terrible conditions, and the death of toddler Ishak, a sobering reminder of how much we need this change. We've seen how much campaigning and pushing for change can achieve, but we need to make sure that change becomes an everyday reality for everyone living in social housing, one that creates a genuine legacy and prioritises the voices, needs and well-being of social housing tenants.